take some time for me, but I just don't have the time.
Stop! Self-care isn't selfish. We're going to talk about the science. Mended light. So, Alicia, what is the science of prioritizing yourself? Is it selfish? It's not.
So self-care increases confidence, productivity, happiness, and just general overall well-being.
Yeah.
And who doesn't want that?
I know I could use some. And also when it comes to the work that I do in therapy, people have asked me, wow, you deal with people's traumatic experiences. That's your job. Do you bring that home? Is it hard to let go of? And I always say, no, it's super easy, actually. And they always look at me funny like, well, do you not care? Because if you cared, it would weigh on you, right? If you cared, the compassion, it would just be heavy, all this trauma.
Compassion fatigue.
Compassion fatigue. And what I tell them is I say, no, I leave it at the office because people need me tomorrow. And if I don't go home and recharge and play board games with our kids or, whatever
Rejuvenate.
It is, or go to the gym or whatever it is, then I can't be there for them.
I can't be the best version of myself as a therapist.
Right. And the same is true in my case as a father, as a friend, as a business partner. I know you have similar experiences, but the point is that it's not selfish to take care of yourself. Even for the people that you care about, taking care of yourself is important because it helps you to show up for them.
And in this video, we're going to talk about what self-care is and what it's not.
Okay, here we go. Self-care is.
Self-care is knowing your own needs. Knowing mostly how to get those needs met. Sometimes it's a new territory. We're like,
Right.
I don't even know what I need. I don't even know how to get that need met, right? But giving yourself permission to meet those needs. So having a life structure, including space and time, so those needs consistently, or about 80-ish% of the time, get met.
Self-care is not ignoring or avoiding the things that you don't like. It's not doing what you feel like. It's not selfish, and it's not just so you can do more work.
People think of self-care like getting a massage or getting your
Yeah.
nails done. And those things are self-care.
Right.
But self-care can also be paying bills on time.
Right.
Right? Especially if you're the kind of person that tends to be more flighty and doesn't have that structure, right? So self-care is setting up a system that supports you in
Yeah.
the areas that you need support.
One of my favorite acts of self-care is opening my mail. I'm not kidding, because normally I'm just like, okay, I don't even want to deal with that. And then later I'm like, oh, that was important.
And you missed it,
And
right?
I missed it, yeah.
And then you have that feeling in the pit of your stomach that you dropped a ball or that you didn't show up for yourself.
Yeah.
That feeds into other stories about yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so you're wanting to change.
Or at least the internal narrative, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so for me, like self-care looks a lot more like stopping and resting and doing things just because I enjoy them.
Which comes very naturally to me.
Right, right. So when we talked about what self-care is, it's about having the structure and the time and the systems that support you in the ways that you particularly need support.
And I love the point that you made that self-care isn't just, doing what you feel like.
Right. That's not self-care.
Well, it can be if what you feel like is supportive, but sometimes self-care is checking things off, getting them done, and feeling the weight go off your shoulders.
Right. That is most indicative of self-care, of saying, what do I need to support myself in the long term? What
Right.
do I need to do to create the life that I actually want to live? Are there fears that I need to face? Are there insecurities? Are there tasks that go along with my fears and insecurities?
Well, sometimes what we call self-care is actually procrastination. And I love that you talk about if you feel the burden getting lighter, or if it feels like this is supporting me in the long term, that's self-care. I engaged in a lot of self-care during college, where I'd be like, oh, I don't want to write that paper. I don't want to do that research. I'm going to binge watch this TV show instead. It wasn't self-care. That was a form of self-harm. That was procrastination. But when I changed gears to, okay, I'm going to work on this for 3 hours, and then I'm going to give myself 2 episodes of my favorite show, that was doing something that I loved, but it was supportive of me. That was self-care because it was helping me to move forward in the long term.
You were setting yourself up to succeed, to be the version of you and show up as the version of you that you most wanted to be.
Yes.
And not based on someone else's values of who you should be.
Right. No, it was something that I gave myself. So I've got a great example of self-care from the musical Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually looking for the Disney Plus version. I was looking for clips on YouTube, couldn't find it. I found something almost as good. You know the Bonner family, Yahash Bonner? They're a family of musicians. You do know them, you just forgot. Anyways, but they do their own Hamilton like in real life. So they have you'll see. But this is George Washington and Thomas Jefferson's running for president, and Alexander Hamilton's like, let's nail him. Let's go after him. And Washington says, no, let's just relax.
Mr. President, you asked to see me.
I know you're busy.
What do you need, sir? Sir?
I wanna give you a word of warning.
Sir, I don't know what you heard, but whatever it is, Jefferson started it.
Thomas Jefferson resigned this morning.
You're kidding.
I need a favor.
Whatever you say, sir, Jefferson will pay for his behavior.
Talk less.
I'll use the press. I'll write under a pseudonym. You'll see what I can do to him.
I need you to draft an address.
Yes, he resigned. You can finally speak your mind.
He's stepping down so he can run for president.
Good luck defeating you, sir.
I'm stepping down. I'm not running for president.
I'm sorry, what?
One last time. Relax, have a drink with me. One last time. Let's take a break tonight, and then we'll teach them how to say goodbye. To say goodbye, you and I.
No, sir. What?
Hamilton's like, wait a second. Because they've been working nonstop at getting America up and running. And I'm not going to, for copyright reasons, I'm not going to play the whole song on here, but essentially Washington is saying, if I stay on as president, the country can't go on without me. Like it has to, we have to have a transition of power. And Washington says, fought in the Revolutionary War. I was the first president, helped get all of this set up.
Right.
It
can't be dependent on me.
Can't be dependent on me. And it's time for me to go to Mount Vernon and relax under the fruit trees that I've planted and enjoy the liberty that we've created. And so just this whole notion of, yes, there's more work to be done. And in his case, he's like, but I'm not the one to do it. Now, that may not be the best fit for all of us, just to say, good luck, everybody. I got you this far. But just the notion of Hamilton's like, let's go, let's work, let's work, let's work. And I love that Washington says, come on, have a drink. We're going to relax tonight. We'll show them how to say goodbye. Tomorrow we'll make our next plans moving forward. It's so supportive to recognize not only is there always work to be done, but that if you never stop, the work loses its flavor. It loses its joy. And you can't meet it with the passion and dedication that you could if you would just stop and enjoy singing or dancing. Like you're a dancer, I'm karaoke, books, movies. I mean, I like books too, but like you're really books and I'm movies. But like people, like you find what it is that helps you to recharge and then re-enter.
I have a couple questions for you. When talking about self-care, a couple questions I want you to ask yourself are, what are the biggest stressors in my life? And how can I better support myself in those stressful times? Like you and I were talking, I'm more of a workaholic. You're more avoidant, right? So you
I'm a work in progress.
Well, we both are, right?
Yeah.
We both are. And so I needed to ask myself, what is my space, time, and system for rest? Well, you needed to ask yourself, what is my space, time, and system for showing up in these areas that I tend to avoid?
And what I've seen the past few years especially is how much that self-care has served both of us.
Right.
I don't live in a place of fear or I don't want to deal with that. And it's liberating, right?
And empowering.
And it's empowering, yes, to feel that way. And I have enjoyed so much just seeing you just be like, you know what? I'm going to do this just because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like it's beautiful.
It's a big thing, but for both of us, we had to address the underlying beliefs because that behavior of orienting myself towards that accomplishment, or for you who oriented yourself to avoiding discomfort, it was the needs underneath the symptoms. Like for both of us, it was symptomatic behavior, right? And it's like, what are the needs and the insecurities and the fears and the stories that go along with those insecurities and fears? And am I willing to confront them and rewrite them so I can, what I like to call, make friends with the rejected parts of myself?
Right.
Because who am I if I'm not always accomplishing, right? And who are you if you're not always making people laugh, right? And so it's getting to the answer of that question of who am I if, right? And then supporting ourselves and having the systems and processes and time to meet those needs in a healthy way. And in a healthier way than we probably ever have before.
All right, some key principles. First of all, you deserve a seat at the table. Know it, believe it, internalize it. Next, let go of the ways that you earn love. Recognize that love is given, it's not earned. And what we're looking for is authenticity and then finding the people who see us, accept us, and love us for who we are. Now, I'm not suggesting that if there are behavior patterns that put people off or push people away, that those shouldn't be worked on. There's a difference between growing into a better version of yourself, however, and changing fundamentally who you are. Fundamentally who you are is where your innate worth is.
Yeah.
And that's to be seen. You don't need to earn it. Now, you talk about something called ripples of light. When you show up as your authentic self, you give other people permission to do so. So my authentic self is I'm a man in his 40s who still enjoys Harry Potter. Like, that's who I am. And instead of hiding that, I am that. But what that does is it inspires other people to say, who am I? I can show that to the world and find my people. You inspire others as you show up authentically. And part of showing up authentically is giving yourself downtime so you can reflect on who you are and know who you are. One of my favorite things about self-care time, we talk about something called enlight time, enlightenment time, taking time just to sit and reflect, is that it becomes safe to feel your emotions when you create the space for that safety. And that's one of my favorite ways to take care of myself, is to sit and explore without judgment what I'm feeling and what I'm gonna do with it. Now, we'd like to teach you more about how to do that in this video, Safe to Feel My Emotions, which is here on screen somewhere and a link right here in the description. Now, what is your favorite form of self-care? Has the way we've talked about it created any aha moments for you? Please share in the comments below. Until next time, keep shining.
We need your light.
Sparkle, sparkle.